Hey guys, shout out to everybody in the chat. Okay, before I even start my intro, because I just kind of was thinking about the start of this video and everything with these allegations. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. I know I just kind of started and had basically, hey Nat, welcome. Thank you, Bad Apple, for showing support. Thank you guys. I'm gonna hit the intro here in a minute. I'm just giving everybody some time. So let me tell you why I started this way. Well, first of all, I already got I haven't even started all the way, and the likes were all the way up. So I know that this was a topic that people wanted me to talk about because I had followed this Nick Carter allegations over the summer briefly, and there's a lot on my mind. So let me go ahead and hit the intro as people are coming in. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. Shout out to you guys. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me shout out my members real quick. I have Jen Jen. Oh my God, this headset. 1 second, guys. My hair is a little crazy today because it typically is, anyways. All right, Jen Jen, Cook 13 Doodle, welcome. Okay, I know I saw Wim down here. Shout out to Wim, Gumby, Brandy. Okay, everybody's coming in. Yeah, Mandy, I know that this is a very hard to listen. Okay. Oh, yeah. Shout out to everybody. Make sure as you're coming in, you hit the like button, please. Make sure you listen. You tell us what side of the world you're from. Make sure you put your flag down there and let us know, period. Yes. Doesn't surprise me that people couldn't figure out why his brother was always sad and sick. The family's so messed up. Well, um, it's a lot going on, okay? I will say that, right? You know, you just had the passing of Aaron Carter, which was just an unfortunate situation. But at the same time, I think that the allegations against Nick Carter are so deeply rooted. You guys don't even. I mean, for those that have been following them, um, I personally, welcome. Okay. Personally, you know what? I grew up in music, right? A lot of us. I was an R. Kelly fan, but one thing that I had to learn, especially growing up, and I had actually talked to a therapist about this a couple years ago when R. Kelly was happening. is how do you put things into perspective if music was such a huge role in your life, right? Whether it was a musician that you followed, artist, or whatever it may be, and then you have these things come up. What do you do with that? What do you know, especially when it's somebody that you idolize or somebody that you had a crush on or somebody that you wanted to meet as a child. The Backstreet Boys in my childhood were huge, right? And I couldn't say that I went to every concert or that I heard every song or, that their posters were plastered. I'm not going to say that, but I will say that just like everybody that was growing up in this era as a millennial, whether it's the Backstreet Boys, R. Kelly, or whoever other artist that you guys want to glorify that we did in our childhood, it is so hard to put this into perspective. And so, yes, as far as dealing with conflict, internal conflict as it pertains to these musicians, I'm here. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. But one thing we cannot do is that because that could be you, that could be your daughter, that could be me, that could be whoever, right? That can happen to just about anybody. Being a victim of somebody that you idolize or that you listen to, that can be anybody, anybody, right? And so one thing I'm not going to do is sit there and be like, he would never do that. He would never do that. Because that's the worst thing you can do. Because we don't know them. We know Nick Carter, the man from the Backstreet Boys, and he's cute and he's this and he's that, but we don't know Nick Carter, the man. Gotta go by fact no matter how you feel. Period. So I have 85 people in here. We're 7 minutes in. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to dig up some stuff, okay? I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of history of what I know before we even get into this conference. There was a woman that came out by the name of Shannon Shay Ruth, okay? And she is autistic, okay? And I had been doing some more digging a little bit more, and it sounds to me like she had already come out a couple times. When Melissa Schman, those that know about Melissa Schman's story, came out against Nick Carter, okay, and this was in the summer, she was severely bullied. There was a specific YouTuber that started her channel to take down Melissa Schman and her allegations. And at this point, based on the email information, because I had a lot of people send me some emails specifically about what happened in that situation. She never saw her day in court because the statute of limitations had expired. So it wasn't like this woman was lying or this woman did not get her day in court because the DA saw through her. That was not at all the case. The statute of limitations had expired. They were reviewing the case, and I'll show you all that here in a minute. I have 2 videos, one of which is in my membership. I think that if you're a member, you'll be able to go back and look at the extensive bullying that happened to Melissa Schman when she went against Nick Carter. Not only just Melissa Schman, there were other victims. There were other victims that came out that were underage at the time, came out about Nick Carter. And they were severely bullied. And so because they suffered that, everyone else kind of stayed quiet and said, we're not doing this. We're not going to be speaking out. The one person that I wish, and I'm praying still for this person, not that she needs my prayers or anything, or maybe, I don't know. I'm just going to say this. Paris Hilton was assaulted by Nick Carter. And those allegations kind of went hush hush. I really, really wish, welcome Bad Apple. I really, really wish that Paris Hilton would have, just like she's advocating for those victims in Utah because she was a student in one of those centers. I really, really wish that she would have continued. Just my thought. You think it sounds suspicious? I mean, and that could very well be the case. I work with you in 20 years and you have questions on HPV. I think it's more common than you think. Okay. Okay. That could very well be the case. We don't know. How many of you guys have seen this conference already in full? Let me know in the chat if you have seen this conference in full. Let me know. But one thing I'm going to tell you guys right now, okay? A difference of opinion is always welcome. What I'm not going to allow is any victim bashing, because whether he's your fave or not, that's not, it's neither here nor there. I need to make sure, and I need a commitment from everybody here, that there will not be any victim bashing, period. Can we agree to that? No victim bashing, please. Even if you're on the fence about these allegations, please let me know that you will not be victim bashing. She did, Rose. She did. She did. And shout out to you, by the way. Thank you. And I've been watching your stuff, Rose. So shout out to you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Agreed. Even if you're on the fence about these allegations, what I'm not going to allow you to do is victim bash. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Period. Okay. Um, let's get this going, okay?
Copies of the lawsuit or the press statement. Attorney Mark Boscovich behind me is with the law firm of Corsia, McMahon, and Allard. He's going to start off by announcing details of the lawsuit that was filed against Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. He'll be followed by Shay Ruth, who will talk about being sexually assaulted by Nick Carter and the impact that it's had on her life. We'll also be hearing from Marcy Hamilton, who's an expert on the field of childhood sexual abuse and the founder, CEO of Child USA. And then we'll be available for a few questions. Shay is allowing us and everybody here to use her name in the stories. So her permission has been granted for this. Mark?
Good morning, everyone. I'm attorney Mark Boscovich, and I have the absolute pleasure representing Shannon Ruth, who goes by the nickname Shay. This morning, we filed a civil lawsuit against Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. The lawsuit alleges that Carter physically assaulted and raped my client, Shay, who you will meet and hear from in a moment. But first, let me tell you what happened. Shay attended a Backstreet Boys concert in February of 2001 in Tacoma, Washington. She was 17 years old at the time. When the concert ended, Shay joined the autograph line where she met Nick Carter. He invited her to join him on the tour bus, and once they were inside the bus, he gave her a funny tasting beverage that he called VIP juice. After Shay drank the juice, Carter took her to the bus's bathroom and told her to get on her knees. Then he pulled down his pants and exposed his genitals, ordering Shay to perform sexual acts on him. I'm sorry, Shay. Shay was a virgin at the time. She had never had a sexual experience in her entire life. Under duress, she did as Carter instructed him and cried throughout the ordeal. But that didn't stop him. Next, Carter took Shay to a bed in the back of the bus. He pushed her onto the bed and proceeded to rape her, despite her pleas over and over again that he stop. But every time Shay said no and tried to get away from Carter, he'd get angry and push her back down on that bed. He was rough, to say the least. After the rape, Shay threatened to tell people what had happened. He grabbed and bruised her arm and screamed at her, calling her, and I quote, a retarded little bitch, while scornfully saying that no one would ever believe in her. He told Shay that she would go to jail if she said anything, because he's Nick Carter and he can do that. To make Shay's trauma even worse, Carter infected her with the sexually transmitted infection HPV. That is significant because during our investigation, we spoke with other women that Carter also sexually assaulted and infected with HPV. He's spreading a sexually transmitted infection that can cause vaginal warts and even cancer. These women's stories are remarkably similar. They were all virgins when they were sexually assaulted by Carter, and they were all infected with HPV. We're hoping that anyone else who has been sexually assaulted by Carter will call or email us. We want to hear your story. We also want anyone who has evidence in Shay's case to come and stand with her, because Nick Carter has a long history of abusing women. And the entertainment industry has enabled his criminal behavior by looking the other way. Shame on you for putting money and profits ahead of the safety of these women. Shame on you for victim shaming, bullying, and re-traumatizing these victims. Nick is not the first celebrity to assault and rape a woman. Once an R&B superstar, R. Kelly, was sentenced in June to 30 years in prison for using his celebrity status to sexually abuse women and children. And last month, film producer Paul Haggis was found liable in civil trial for raping publicist Haley Brees. He was required to pay her $7.5 million in damages as a result. Go look into these cases and other high-profile cases, and you'll hear the perpetrators offering the same tired excuses ad nauseum. She consented. I didn't know her. I have no idea what this is about. That's hogwash. Now let me tell you a little bit about my client, Shay. Shay grew up in a strict religious household and is on the autism spectrum. So it's particularly brave that she is here today. She also has a mild case of cerebral palsy. Now, according to disabilityjustice.org, 83% of women with disabilities will be sexually assaulted during their lifetimes, and just 3% of those assaults will be reported. It's also estimated that half of those women have been sexually assaulted more than 10 times. Being sexually assaulted takes a big toll on victims, but Shay is determined to bring Carter to justice. She fully understands that Carter's legal team and even some of his fans will harass her every opportunity they get, but she believes it's worth it to protect other women. And now I'd like to give Shay an opportunity to give her story to you.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Shay, and I'm 39 years old. And the last 21 years have been filled with pain, confusion, frustration, shame, and self-harm that are a direct result of Nick Carter raping me. Even though I'm autistic and live with cerebral palsy, I believe that nothing has affected me more or had a more lasting impact on my life than what Nick Carter did and said to me. Sorry. After he raped me, I remember him calling me a retarded bitch and grabbing me and leaving bruises on my arm. Sorry.
Okay. Nothing to be sorry about, okay?
I'd also like to say that Carter tried to scare me into silence by saying no one would believe me if I told what happened. He was nasty and threatening, saying I would go to jail if I told. He also said he'd turn people against me because he was Nick Carter and he had the power to wreck my life. After my assault, I started cutting myself to hide my pain. I felt like I had nowhere to turn, no way to express my emotions, pain, and confusion, except by hurting myself. And I truly believe that if I told anyone, I would go to jail. I'm still struggling with that because it just kind of hangs in the back of my mind. Not only do I struggle with self-harm because of what happened to me, but I also have self-esteem issues and self-doubt. I've struggled with blaming myself because I got on the bus with Nick. And as a result, I now have major trust issues. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry, okay?
My motivation for coming forward today and filing this lawsuit is to stop Nick Carter from assaulting more teens and women. I know now that I wasn't the only woman that Nick Carter did this to. I hope that by coming forward today, many other women will find the courage to also come forward and hold Nick Carter accountable. I need a minute, sorry. I want my sister survivors to understand that even though it's scary to come forward, now is the time for us to stand together. So please, come forward and stand with me. You're not alone. Just because Nick Carter is a celebrity does not mean that he's excused from his crimes. No celebrity is above the law. Carter took away my childhood and innocence, but he cannot and will not take away my strength or my truth. I am a survivor and always will be.
Judy, can I have? So,
And this is Marcy Hamilton from Child USA,
Right.
the founder and
and a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Shay came to me 3 years ago and she didn't know what to do. She's so smart. Come here, Shay. Come on, baby. She's so smart. She's one of the best writers I've ever met, and she's a painter. And she came to me because she wanted a voice. And with all of her challenges and the cruelty to her, she insisted on coming forward. And one of the things we say at Child USA is that if you're not ready, don't rush in. But she again and again said, I'm ready to do this. And she has done it. Today, she is making history. Typically, victims of child sex abuse and rape don't come forward for decades. That's the kind of research that we do at Child USA. The psychological and physical manifestations and the shame and the humiliation stand between them and justice. The other barrier between them and justice are the statutes of limitations. Thank God the statute of limitations are open and are creating an opportunity for her to get justice because she deserves it, but to bring Carter to account. Nick Carter has operated as though he is immune from the law. None of these perpetrators are. Not the priests, not the celebrities, not the gymnasts. These are, in fact, the people that are changing the world for the epidemic of child sex abuse. Shay, is changing the world because she is disabled in a way that makes it hard for her to operate in this space. She is someone who suffers from autism and has her entire life. She's someone who has cerebral palsy and other health issues. For her to be the one who stands up first against this mega celebrity is a lot. And so I'd like to ask everybody to make this Shay's day. This is about Shay. She deserves it. She's a good soul. And she's just about got it under control. So let me just close by saying this. For every survivor that's out there that's come forward already, thank you. Of every perpetrator, of everyone who has been put through this. But I want to say to Shay, You're special. And this will change the world. A woman with autism who struggled her whole life, raped by a celebrity, and guess what? Today is Shay Day. So I want to thank you for your guts. You're inspiring to all of us. And now you have a level playing ground because the law is on your side.
Open it up to a few questions. Go ahead.
And I just want to preface this that I'm not going to allow Shay to answer any questions today.
No.
It was brave enough for her to come here to sue under her real name. She's done enough. And so you can blame me, but I've instructed her. I want her to, now it's your time just to relax, okay? Let me answer the questions, okay?
Shay, thank you for speaking out. So this is a civil lawsuit. What type of damages are you seeking, and what are your plans to maybe have this turn into criminal cases?
So this is a civil lawsuit asking for monetary damages, so money damages, and there'll be two forms of those: punitive damages, so money damages to punish Mr. Carter, and then money damages to compensate her for her harm. For example, medical expenses, pain and suffering, etc. Okay.
Any other questions?
You mentioned there's a history of abuse from Nick Carter. I have not followed his career. Can you mention any other credible allegations or any recent allegations?
Yes, there's 3 allegations of other women beyond Shay that are contained in the lawsuit, who are named Doe 1, Doe 2, Doe 3 to preserve their privacy until they're ready to speak themselves. And in those situations, very similar: rape, virgin, HPV, very similar kind of modus operandum.
Any other questions? Shay, did you want to say anything to your sister survivor?
Yeah.
Take the stand.
I just wanted to say that for those of my sister survivors that are watching now, either, on the live stream or later on, even though I'm doing this in my name, I'm doing this for all of us because all of our stories matter. And I know it's super hard to come forward and it's scary, but we have to stand together and we have to show Nick that we've taken our power back, that he doesn't get to have our power anymore. He's had it long enough. And so please, if you contact Mark, if you're willing to stand with me, it would mean so much. And thank you to the 3 Jane Does that have already been willing to stand with me. I appreciate you so much. But that's just all I'm asking is, please, I know that there's more of us and I know that you're scared. I'm scared. But, you can do hard things too, and nothing's going to change unless we make the change. And I spent so much time blaming myself and thinking that I was the problem. Me and my sister survivors and other sexual assault survivors who choose to come forward are not the problem. It's not me and my sister survivors, it's the abusers and the predators and the people in the entertainment industry that enable them and give them a platform. Please stop. Thank you.
And I'd just like to say a big thank you to our local attorneys, Christian Morris and Jamie McAnally, who have helped us file this lawsuit in Clark County. And thank you for our whole entire legal team representing Shay.
Yeah, it's a lot. Now let me stop 1 second, guys. Let me cancel this real quick. Shout out to everybody in the chat that is just now joining us. Hold up 1 minute, guys. Shout out to everybody that's just now joining us. Thank you for joining us. So I want to point something out before I give some shout outs even more. Somebody said in here, okay. Somebody said in here, let me see what they said. Somebody said in here, where are you? Where's your comment at, my love? Where is your comment at? I'm trying to look for it. Let me see. It is, here we go. Michelle says, wow, this is a hard one. Bless you, Rabbit, for taking this on. Your shoulders are strong. Let me tell you guys something, okay? I'm not new to advocacy. I'm true to it. That makes sense, right? So this bringing it on, talking about it. Oh yeah. I know that, it has a life of its own. Fans will get mad and people will say things, and this person and the janky channel. I've already. I'm well aware of it because I actually covered some of Melissa Schman's stuff in the summer. Okay, so I'm not new to it. Not only that, by trade, guys, I mean, I went to grad school. I have a grad degree in social work, okay? So I'm not new to advocacy and then standing up to a couple of internet bullies to it. Not at all. My biggest concern, I'll tell you what I'm more worried about. As hard as they went for Melissa Schman's neck, I'm really concerned about Shay Ruth. I really hope, and I might actually go above and beyond this, okay? I might actually message the attorneys that are representing her because I need that girl to stay offline. Okay, staying offline is so important when it comes to this, especially when you put your name as someone that's going to be suing. Now I know Matt Bond is in the chat. He says, you know what, he's like, I was there for the Black and Blue tour. There's some people that know the Backstreet Boys, that know Nick Carter, right? We know that. I'm not I'm not worried about that, guys. I really am not. But I'm telling you, I really hope, Kat, I'm saying, I hope that Shay does stay offline because how hard they went on Melissa Schman. And if you think I'm lying, I'm gonna show you some of the videos that I've captured over the summer. Okay, because they went hard on Melissa. They really did. They bullied her, they discredited her, they started a new hashtag, his side too. Like, it was hard. Now, for this woman, what makes anybody think that they wouldn't go hard on her? So I need her to stay offline, period. I need her to stay offline. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. It doesn't matter where you land. My thing is this. You weren't there, I wasn't there. I have police reports that were sent to me. Actual police reports of when this man assaulted a minor. And they went hard on that minor to discredit her too. The fans are vicious. It was said, and I'm going to say this allegedly because I don't have the receipts, that that whole camp hired a blogger to go after certain people and discredit the story. And let me tell you how insane this is as well, okay? So page 6 did reach out to the attorney. They gave a statement on page 6, all right? Let me see if I can show this to you guys. You guys could check it out. The article is there as well. Let me see. It says the claims about an incident that supposedly took place more than 20 years ago is not only legally meritless, but also entirely untrue, the Backstreet Boy member attorney Michael Holtz said in a statement obtained by page 6. Unfortunately, for several years now, Miss Ruth has been manipulated into making false allegations about Nick. And those, let me remove myself. Let's see, making false allegations about Nick, and those have changed. And allegations have changed repeatedly and materially over time. No one should be fooled by a press stunt orchestrated by an opportunistic lawyer And there is nothing to this claim whatsoever, which we have no doubt the court will quickly realize. Let's talk about this opportunistic lawyer, because I'm pretty sure it's a firm that's dedicated in calling out child sex abuse, all of it. Childhood sex abuse lawyers. They are very dedicated to this. This is what they do. This is what they do. So I'm more worried about the victim than I am about myself or anybody else. I'm just telling you guys. I have seen, I'm going to show you guys something. And I believe this is the members only video, and it's on the higher tier. Okay. And the reason why I put in members only is because at that time, the person that this video, I was pointing out the person that was pioneering this bullying of Melissa Schman, whether you believe Melissa Schman or not, right? But I will say this. It doesn't matter where you land, but if it was your daughter, your son that's making these allegations against a celebrity, does it warrant this type of behavior, this type of bullying? And I don't know if it does. It kind of disgusted me, and knowing, especially given the fact that this creator calls herself a true crime creator, okay, calls herself fighting for victims, calls herself a life coach, and you can express yourself this way about someone making allegations of rape, and you weren't there, and I wasn't there, and nobody here in the chat was there. But we can drag and we can justify because Nick Carter is very timid around women. He would have never done that. Never. In the summer, and in last year as well, I had done coverage on the Kaylin Walker sex assault allegations. I have a whole playlist, 17 videos. From the blogging point of view on, do you understand how heavily the blogs tried to drag the victims? The man was found guilty. I interviewed a juror, and he was sentenced to 50 years because of what he did to various victims. He had over 30 victims, and some of those were minors. And people were saying, I don't believe her. And even with DNA evidence, I still don't believe her. So when people come to my channel and say, that never happened, who the fuck are you and were you there? That's my answer to that. So when people also say, that's a huge undertaking, I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. Let me play this video. So we can get going.
We are doing another Melissa Schman video. Who remembers Melissa Schman? I do. You want to know why? Because the bitch won't shut up. That's why I remember her. Oh, boy. So, like, I don't know where to start, but a lot of crap has happened. And you know what? It's been over 6 months that the Melissa Schman, I was raped by Nick Carter, I swear to God, 15 years ago, I swear happened. It's been 6 months. And it's just been a shit show the whole time. And at this point, I've been kind of done with it for a while. But I mean, like, so much stuff has unfolded just in the past month that from my last video, I remember that probably got the most views because I got very, very upset. I should probably explain that last video before I get into anything. So tune into that last video that when I said Melissa Schman is done, is over. Okay, I was led to believe, which it's not a bad thing, that Nick Carter and his wife were going to come forward with something. I think I jumped the gun a little too quick by coming out with that video. And I remember within about 5 days after, I said, maybe I should delete that. But one thing I like is the fact that I only do the video once and I put it out there and it's just total honesty. And then, it's done and I get it over with. What I said in the last video was the absolute truth. Any information that I kind of put out there is factual. It's not going to be BS. And I don't like rumors. And there's a lot of rumors. And, like, I could talk about Melissa's stepsister contacting me. I could talk about the dancers that danced with Brandon. I could talk about all that stuff, but I just don't want to. And I just don't want to splice in screenshots. I just don't want to go there. That's what the blogs were for. And those blogs were pretty dead on accurate. And they were very, I believe, unbiased with Nick and Melissa. And that's what I liked about the girl that made those blogs. I did not make the blogs. So
this is why I am worried about Shannon Shay. I am. Because of people like this. This is why I'm worried. I'm just letting you guys know. It worries me.
in that last video with, you know, what I said about them coming forward, I remember thinking, I'm not too sure that they should just come out and, you know, bring it back up again, because they're just going to be opening this whole new Pandora's box again, to where people have already forgotten about it. And the thing is there was a lot of information between blogs, videos, and a lot of people on the internet, and her losing followers and things like that, that were suggesting that not a lot of people believed her story. And I do know that his side too, not his side too, the Me Too movement, they actually did want nothing to do with her. And according to some insiders, all her stuff with the Time's Up and the Me Too and stuff like that, she wasn't getting many retweets from anyone of importance. Just, you know, her little fans, you know, all, you know, a whole dozen, you know. If she got any likes, it was from maybe a dozen of her tweets, okay?
Could it be because the statute of limitations expired? Isn't that a possibility?
James Hartland, on the other hand, he gets no treat. He gets no tweet. He gets no likes or retweets on anything, this poor guy. And he is just like always trapped in the middle with, you know, being in this web that Melissa and Brandon have put him in. And we do feel bad for James Hartline, but I'll get into him a little bit later. Like I said, she lost followers and she really didn't gain YouTube subscribers except for spies. And anyone that she blocked, everyone. You do know that. Even people, if they even asked a question, if they said anything, she automatically blocked them. Now, I know for a fact that's not how Kim Kardashian and, you know, Kanye West and people that are very successful use social media. Like I was told when I started doing reality television was, you need haters. You need negativity out there. And that's the way that gets you the notoriety. That's what gets you the attention. And you just need it. You just need it. I just don't understand how Melissa Schman never got media training. That I don't understand. She must not be represented. She must not have an agent. That's funny how her dad is called the agent. Well, if that's your agent, you better cut ties with that agent, because he's not doing you a solid at all. And it's funny because it's like a laughing joke, because Jerry's kids, Melissa, friends and family are embarrassed about you and have reached out to us and told us things that we're not even comfortable repeating. So you should have stopped this a long time ago. People at your church, things like that. Like, there's people out there, and I've tried to be nice and set myself back and not be a total and complete biatch. And like, people that are closely around you have been like, please don't say that that you heard this from me. Please, blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you something. We know where you get your hair done. We know about your little nail tech stuff. We know it all, but it's of unimportance. We just wanted the truth to come out, because what you did to Nick Carter was really, really bad. And I know at this point, after everything that's happened to you in 6 months, I know you regret saying something now. Don't tell me that you found strength. What did you gain? Oh, Kaya talks to you on Twitter. Have you met her? No. You got a verified Twitter? Okay, but now that you have a verified Twitter, you can't claim that you didn't say something, that you didn't do something, but you have an extra Twitter. Your Melissa one. Like, do you think that people are stupid? This is my problem with you. And this is why I always get upset thinking about you. This is why people don't like you. It's because you're so fake. You're such a phony and you're full of it. And you think that you're like this great scam artist, but you're not, because you keep getting caught. And let me tell you something, girlfriend. You are doing life all wrong. And I can say that because actually I'm a life coach.
I have no words. I can see why she wanted to delete these videos. I have no words whatsoever.
Yes. Some videos are deleted. Some videos have been privated, removed. There are actual pages out there that have been focusing on taking some of these clips and like I said, I haven't talked about Molly Golightly in maybe about a month and a half or so, because I've been working on some other stuff. But quite honestly, it keeps coming back to this. You cannot deny, as far as bloggers go and discrediting, this is a kind of blogger that would worry me about victims, for victims. I'm just going to tell you guys. This is the kind of people that worry me as it pertains when people come out and put their names out there, because that's what they do. They will, right, mama, they will drag and discredit and pull apart and just, because this is how they move. This is what they do. So yeah, I have concerns.
This woman did not get to see a judge. She didn't get a trial because the statute of limitations expired. And you tell her she's doing life wrong. And you know, because you're a life coach. You were a life coach then, and you're a life coach now. And a pretty shitty one, if you ask me. Just saying. I don't get it, guys. Oh my God, man. This is crazy. And a lot of you guys are going to say, well, Rabbit, looking into Melissa, Schman's past, she lied or she did this or she did that. That's not the point here. Is that she never got a trial. She never got to see a judge. She never got to plead her case in front of people like people would want. I know I just find this to be so amazing. Having interviewed victims of assault, having interviewed victims of sexual assault, having seen different things. This is so, I have no word. If you guys have the words for me, please put them in the chat, because I'm just like, I cannot believe this. And I'll make sure all this channel that has these videos in full, it'll be in the description box so you guys can check them out, because they put this out for educational purposes, which is the commentary that we're doing right now. I don't know what to say, guys. This is just, nah, man.
I know you didn't know that, but I am, okay? And I'm not even technically supposed to tell anybody that anyone's doing life wrong. Like, that is totally frowned upon. But I'm going to say it to you loud and clear over the internet so the world can hear it. You are doing life wrong, okay? And you know what? I can say that because I'm sitting in a 5-star 5-diamond resort in Bangkok, okay? And you're sitting on your couch, rubbing your cooch on your own, on your own accord, twittering away all day long. That's your life. That and walking your little dog and complaining about how you were owed this and that and this and that, fighting with your freaking husband. Do we need to get videos of screaming outside your place? Oh, how about that house? That we checked out? Yeah, was it Oceanside? Wow. So it turns out that Melissa and Brandon did a short sale on a property. Yeah, my husband also is a real estate broker in California, who I asked him to look up a address, and he's like, why? And I said, find out what happened with this house. And he was just like, oh no, it was purchased by this woman and blah, 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 blah. Well, I did some background check stuff, and yeah, they went underwater, and that's why they're living.
I'm shaking. That's how mad I am. Oh my. Let me. Jesus. This is just disgusting. And now she's talking about her husband. So is her husband also blogging as well? Or doing background checks on people? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy. Let's proceed.
In this little 2-bedroom place in ghetto town, Long Beach. And I don't know if visitors are coming by still. and watching you walk your little dog and leave with your little son, but they see Brandon coming in and out. I mean, we know these things about you, and I'm not going to your house. I don't know anything about that, but it just gets back to us. Now, when I say you're doing life wrong, I just mean like when your story keeps changing, girlfriend, like 7 times. Do we have to get into that? The why story keeps changing 7 times. And then you go on this, like you want to be some sort of savior for these women who should come forward. You have no proof. You have no real evidence. No one wants to stick out their neck for you because it's a crime to falsely accuse a man of raping you 15 years ago. You had the chance, okay? We all know, okay, what happened, okay? Now you saying Nick had to, Nick took a shot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he took 1 shot. He wasn't inebriated, and he gave you a shot. What did you think was gonna happen? What did you think was gonna happen when you willingly went into another room with Nick Carter? You went to his apartment with another girl when you knew that his friend was there. Oh, and we all have the texts. We all have the texts of you reaching out to his, friend that was at the place, hoping that he would vouch for you and say that he was sleeping on the floor. Like those texts were sent to us months and months ago. I mean, you gave your own self the Kate Spade scarf to hang yourself. Like that's what you did. Like you hung yourself and you ended up getting your husband in trouble for it.
She said the Kate Spade scarf to hang yourself. That's what she said. There you go. I didn't say it. She said it.
Too. Because he looks like a jerk. And then what do? You recruit James Hartline. As if the guy doesn't have anything better to do. Well, you know what? You gave him some excitement in his life. So, you know what? You tried to have Backstreet Boys, not even just Nick Carter, boycotted from iHeartRadio and any venue, concert series that would have happened. You just didn't want them to get any work. But then what happens? They come out with a new single and a new video. I saw the video twice. I heard the video about 3 or 4 times. I was like, oh, wow. They still look good. Like, I was like, well, you didn't stop them because they're all over the place now. And now he's got a smile on his face. What did you accomplish? Not much. Okay, so it's a little better. Brandon, let's get to Brandon. So everyone kept asking me, these dancers and stuff like that, if I was going to do when are you coming out with the Brandon Henschel video? Like, and I was like actually preparing for it. I just wanted to make sure it would be really good. But then I was like, you know what? I understand the whole Brandon Henschel thing. I think I understand a little too.
Let me remind everyone again that the reason why the prosecution didn't go forward, why this didn't, see a trial, it's because why the prosecutor in Los Angeles did not pursue sexual assault charges against Nick Carter is because the statute of limitations had expired. Not because there was no case. It was under review. What? It's ridiculous.
Too much.
I gotta.
Can you catch my drift?
I cannot.
It's not hard to figure out what's going on in Brandon Henschel's mind.
This shit will be linked in the description.
These guys that have worked with him on Britney and, well, he doesn't really have a very good reputation. Mrs. Lauren Kit Carter. And your livelihood is in support of your wife's so-called rapist. Okay, we get the story, Brandon. We know the story. We know the truth about Melissa. We know that Nick went to Melissa's house, kicked down her bedroom door while she was reading the Bible and was like, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. And raped her and took her virginity. Virginity. Sure, Melissa, we know you were a virgin. God, I think you might have even lost your virginity before me. God. And I was like 20. Okay. Don't know why James Hartline would put himself out there for Melissa and Brandon. Now, I think that, and this is just me, I'm not speaking for his side 2 girls. And I think that James Hartline does think that anyone that tweets anything negative or says anything negative about Melissa is a part of his side too. His side too consisted of 20 girls exactly. And some of them were not on Twitter. They didn't even use Twitter. He has gotten the identity of me and I think the real identity of 2 others. The rest he didn't. And we were fine with that. We were fine with him finding out. I mean, he had the fake addresses for me and things like that. And he wants to talk about cyberbullying and cyber terrorism and the FBI and blah, 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 blah. The truth is he's actually been caught what they call doxing. But the thing is like, you have to consider the source with James Hartline. Anyone who gets interested in something that James Hartline says about another person that he thinks that he's exposing, all they have to do is Google the name James Hartline, and it's just like, okay, crazy, he's a whack job. So, I don't think that it should end there. I don't think that people should just write Hartline off as a whack job. Now, he believes that all the girls are from his side too. That's not actually true. A lot of these girls that go after him, like Jennifer Varnum and those weirdo girls, we don't talk to them. The people that are, do you really think that it's only 8 to 10 girls that are on Twitter that hate Melissa Schman? No, there's a lot more people out there, and we're not all connected. We're not all the same people, and we're not all his side too. But there are some girls that put hashtag his side too.
I am done. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, and that's just a brief.
Yeah, I was pretty done after that. I said I can only handle so much of all of that, right? And I mean, I was watching a lot of it. It was just a little too much. Now, let me tell you guys what happened. And this is just a little brief little overview of what actually happened, what actually went down. See, when the attempt was not only to discredit Melissa, but the other victims happened, there was a group about 20 people, okay, that were part of this group called His Side Too. One of those people came out from that, and they can't say anything because I'm pretty sure legal reasons and all that other stuff. But it was said that His Side Too, the 20 women that were in this group to discredit victims, by all means necessary. So when I hear that Shannon Shay Ruth is coming out and she's got her name out there, I'm worried about the victims. I'm worried about the Jane Does. I'm worried about all these other people, not whether you believe any of them. It's neither here nor there. It's the fact that the targeted harassment that happens here to tear these women apart was real. It happened. Let me play this for you guys, okay? And you let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.
What she did, what the mission was, to discredit Melissa on social media. By all means necessary, of course. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. And remember, this is just a preview. We're trying to show you both sides, not just one, both.
Like to know, just because I know that you say you're going to go dig up this, whatever facts that you have or proof. I would like to know, just could you please tell me what he told you about how I reached out to him or something like that I tried to get in contact with him after the alleged incident? Because
And by the way, so you guys are well aware, okay? So when the district attorney read, basically it was put out on media that there was not going to be any type of trial, that the statute of limitations had, expired. You had Molly Golightly on the bottom, put on her red bottoms, okay? Pop her champagne, her strawberries or whatever, and let everybody know that this was something that she was going to celebrate, period. That's what she did. That's what she did. Right, Mama? That's what she did. Let's keep watching.
I would love to clear that up.
So basically, I can't remember if it was Nick exactly or someone in his group, but the conversation was that you guys had done a song together or were working together, and you also were trying to hang out with him, and he basically just wasn't there for it or didn't want to. So he felt rejected. And then when this whole, Me Too movement came out and you were brave enough to come out with your story of what happened to you, And I say that because whatever did happen to you, that those are your experiences, and I can't take that from you, and I can't make you change how you feel in a moment or anything. So when you came forward, basically I was told that it was because, you wanted more from Nick and he didn't want to be your boyfriend. So you were like scorned in a way. And this was like a revenge thing. And then, when your dad kind of got involved, I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I'll be honest, it rubbed me the wrong way a little bit because I know your dad is defending you like a good dad. But it just felt like a lot of people were saying in like his camp that, this was like a money thing and a fame thing. And it just, when Marissa and her gang of, her gaggle of friends got involved, that's where things got worse.
Oh my God. Okay. So no, none of that is true. So what happened was after the attack, I had to finish The Hollow, which you can read in my blog. I'm not going to go over that again, but I had reached out to my manager. I let Nils know what happened. I wanted to go to the police. We were basically like in between filming, so I had to go back on set and film with him, and I was scared. So I had to see him again to finish The Hollow. But then what ended up happening is he ended up calling me, and I don't know if it was a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but I know that it was after The Hollow. He kept calling me over and over and over and over again. And I put this in my blog too. And I have witnesses. So he can say everything he wants. But I had a witness. I have 2 witnesses there when he was calling and blowing up my phone.
Alrighty then. Let me stop this real quick because it's gonna play cancel. Yes, mom. Yes, yes. Sorry, baby bunny's over here. She's like, listen, this is too much. Look, it's a lot to consume. I get it. And trust me when I say that I'm concerned and worried about these victims, right? I really am. Whoever the other Jane Does are, I mean, I honestly think that they do need to be worried and concerned about the mass bullying that will happen. And honestly, Wim said she's insane, poor husband. Wim, I think I don't want to misspeak, but it's my understanding that they have an arrangement. As far as that marriage. I say that because I mean, I'm a married woman, I don't know how in tune or how approving the husband can be of all of that, but hey, people have arranged marriages, they have understandings, and I'm pretty sure that that's one of them. I mean, in Molly, as you can see in those years have passed. She doesn't look like that anymore, in my opinion. I think that this blogging stuff has really gotten pretty hard on her. I don't see her, prim herself anymore, drink champagne, and that's a side note. That's a side note, okay? But I'm just gonna say this. If you guys want me to continue to report and advocate for the victim part, we will. Not so much for Molly, because I'm not going to give her that attention. At the end of the day, she has a huge supporting. That people do support that kind of content. They do. They support that kind of dragging, exposing victims. They support that kind of tactic, right? Anything for the Backstreet Boys, anything for the fans. I am going to support what the victims say because that's what I stand for, truly. And if that's something that you guys want me to continue to report on, let me put a 1 in the chat if we will continue to look into this, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little apprehensive. I'm trying to steer away as far as content goes, and reporting away from the celebrity aspect of things, because it gets very controversial. Yes, there's a liability risk that's there as well. Drop a 1 in the chat if you are okay with me continuing to talk about this, and I might even create a playlist and look into this a little bit more. Okay, thank you. And it's not the first time, guys. Like I said, we've done celebrities before. I've interviewed the victims of Kaylin Walker in here and those that were in trial. I'm not whatsoever new to this. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. That being said, though, I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. I'm going to look into it a little bit more. I want to thank, let me see, I have Bad Apple, who became a member. Shout out to Bad Apple, and Sin D. And also, I've got words. Thank you for the $4.99 sticker. I appreciate you. Let me go ahead and do some rabbit twerking to welcome you guys to the membership. And thank you again for the $4.99. Let's see. Where's my rabbit twerking? Where's my rabbit twerking? Here we go. This is for you. Okay. Yes, we stand with the victims and children, period. And with that being said, is I'm not looking into Molly Golightly more closely. We already know that. Here, I really just want to look into the case and the allegations a little bit more closely. That's the goal of talking about it. Right, Mama? Do you have something to say? Do you have something to say to the people? Let me know. You have something to say to everybody? Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I am out, and make sure you guys hit the thumbs up on your way out. Bye, guys.